I'm Christy Bilbrey. After working in a Senate press office, the White House, and corporate, I started my own business and realized none of those experiences taught me how to market myself. Thankfully, I discovered how brand storytelling and strategy could help me easily connect with others, promote my services, and grow my brand. I created the Business That Story Built podcast to help business leaders strengthen the stories we tell ourselves and the stories we tell others. Ready to take your mindset and messaging to the next level? Let's get started. In our heads, it's so easy to think something and know something, be excited to share something, and then you share it with somebody else, and either they don't get it and you think it is plainly obvious, or it just doesn't resonate with them the way that it resonated with you, and you don't understand why. It can be so infuriating. In today's episode, I am going to talk about what happens before you communicate a message. If you have an important message that you need to share, there is some groundwork that needs to be laid because words matter. Words can make the difference. The way that you communicate something can make the difference in winning a client, in getting funded, in losing a top employee, losing your own job, maybe even shutting down your business. I know this sounds really intense, but honestly, it is. It makes a huge difference. And so this episode is all about measuring twice and cutting once. So what I want to talk about today is what you should do before you ever communicate that message. And so communications is both an art and a science. And I recommend that there are actually two pieces of the art, but the first piece I feel like is your connection to your message. And that's where I want to start. So if you're a solopreneur and this just involves you, then you need to sit down. I highly recommend that you get a strategist, communications expert, PR, you contact someone, and you sit down with them and talk through this. If you have a team and you're all going to be communicating this message, bring them in. You need to have a conversation with them. And first thing that you want to do is really talk about what is the message? What is the heart of it? Why does it matter? What is your connection to it? And get their buy-in, get their thoughts, get their opinions, because you're going to come up with something better with everyone who's going to be involved in communicating this. I want you to understand your connection to this message because you're going to get into conversations and it's not going the way that you think. You feel like you planned this out. It's going to be super simple to understand and it's not going over. And you have to, on the fly, think of a totally different way to explain what's really important to you. So if you don't know it inside and out and why it matters to you, why it should matter to the people that you're speaking to, you need to think about that some more and you need to come up with some ideas of what that is. Communications is not a one and done operation, right? It is constant experimenting. You're going to share something, you're going to see how it lands, what needs to change, and a lot of times you're going to have to change in the midst of it. So I want you to plan on being able to experiment. This is a living, breathing thing, but your messaging and planning that messaging up front is critical. Like I said, this is a measure twice, cut once episode. So first, you want to make sure that you and the top people involved in communicating this message understand it inside and out, why it matters to the people that you're communicating it to, and simplify it. Remove jargon. The best communications are the simplest communications. Typically, someone who knows something really, really well can break down something complex and simplify it so that anyone can understand. And not only can they understand it, but they can share that story with somebody else without thinking, gosh, what did they mean? I don't know. Get hung up on details. You want the main points of it to be crystal clear so that whoever you're telling can explain it and potentially they can understand it and they can also share it with others. And then another piece that's really important in planning out your messaging is thinking about it and kind of having an outline that is similar to story format. So if you think about storytelling and, how that goes, there's typically the before. So before something happened, what was life like? I was minding my own business, or my business, I thought, was running the way it was supposed to. Real quick, this is the way it looked. Then think inciting incident. So that's either then I realized this is not at all right. This is not the way it's supposed to be, or I saw what was possible, or maybe something really did happen. Then the nuclear reactor melted down. Hopefully not, but something happened, right? There's a problem. This is probably going into the pain point that you're trying to solve. So you share that pain point, and then you're going to share why you decided to get involved. Like, why did you decide you were the one to do something about this issue? And this is where, again, your heart connects. So you need to be able to convey why to people so that they can start to take an interest, and it's going to also impact their heart and why they should start to care. So you say why you started to care, and then what you did. Lay it out very clearly. Here is what we've done to address this. This could be the differentiators of your business. I mean, it all depends on the situation, what the type of messaging is. Then you're going to talk about what needs to happen next. So what you did, is this something that they need to buy? Is this something they need to take action? Do they need to tell people? Do they need to vote? What is it that you want them to do now that they have this information of what's transpired, what this messaging is all about, why it's so critical? So once you have that and it's boiled down and simplified, yes, you can share details and help paint a picture in someone's mind, but make sure that it is clear and simple, each piece of it, that it builds so they can see it in their head. It's connecting with their heart. They're saying, oh, wow, I didn't even realize this was an issue. This could make such a big difference for me. I want to buy this t-shirt. I want to, purchase this service, whatever it is that you are offering, that they understand exactly why it matters to them and what they need to do next. And when you have done those things, when you come together with the people who are involved, everyone is crystal clear on what is the messaging, like what is it, why does it exist, what are we trying to get out of this, what do we hope this messaging will do for us or for whoever we're trying to help, and boil it down, make it really simple, avoid any jargon, and make sure it's not too complex. Start practicing explaining it to people who don't know this. Can they understand it, right? It's kind of the grandma test. Like, this is kind of an old trick for marketing, is if you can explain it to your grandma who may know nothing about the topic and she's like, oh, okay, I get the gist of it, then it's probably ready, right? And then that's when you kind of plan out what would this look like in a story, because that's just going to maximize the impact of it. Then you're in a good place with your messaging to start getting into planning how you're going to communicate it, where you're communicating it, what that's going to look like. How are you growing your brand? Are you targeting the right people, developing the right relationships, and consistently getting the visibility and credibility that you need to grow your business? Whether you need a plan that's small or large in scale, our PR firm and consulting services can design and implement what your business needs to grow. To schedule a free call and learn how we can partner with you, email Christie@ChristieBilbrey.com. That's CHRISTIE@CHRISTIEBILBREY.com.